Hi there, it's me, Jeff Gallashaw, and I'm back with another episode of Unfinished Business, Rough Cuts. And this week we are going to be talking about the film ARGO. Not Ben Affleck's directorial debut, but actually his third film. Yes, it's been that long. He directed a third film, following the really good Gone Baby Gone and the excellent The Town. Now, this movie is based in history on a true story about an FBI handler who went overseas to get a bunch of hostages released. You can read the backstory. I don't want to get into details. But, you know, he did it by pretending to be a producer of an upcoming sci-fi film in the 70s in the vein of Star Wars. And, you know, they basically set up a fake movie just so they could sneak all these not exactly hostages, escaped UN workers out of the country. I saw this film after I went to Comic-Con, so I will admit I wasn't in the best shape to go see a movie. I had not slept in over 24 hours, and I saw it, and I have to say, technically, the film is really good. You know, the acting's on par, an almost all-star cast of recognizable actors. You know, it's riveting. Because I went to go see this friend with my constant movie partner, Catalina, and, you know, throughout the film, as we're sitting there, you know, she's like my audience reactor, because she's sitting there and like, oh no, don't do that. I mean, not loud, you know, to disturb the audience, but loud enough for me to hear, and I found that quite entertaining because she was feeling feelings I honestly wasn't while I was watching the film. I mean, it's a good story, it's very thrilling, technically it's proficient, but it just never really touched me. It never really became personal or affected me. I just sat there watching it like it was a movie. I laughed when it was funny. I was, you know, a little scared, even though, because it's based on a true story, we all know probably how it's going to turn out. You know, it could go either way. That's one of the problems with fact-based movies, because you can always find out the ending. You just want to see how they're going to do it, because it can go, you know, oh, great. They, you know, it feels good because we won. They got away with it. Yes. Or it can be like, oh, they almost got away with it, but they screwed up. But in the end, maybe they can turn out okay. You know, you've seen these films. But with the film, I really enjoyed it. There were just a few things that, you know, I felt kind of bored in some scenes, but they were needed because they were giving you information. And I felt like Ben Affleck's character, I mean, is the main character, but I guess his story arc kind of faltered me, because, I mean, I know he's the hero and it's true story, but he had no backstory except that he wanted to bond with his son. And then you know, during the film, you know, he's just sitting there, he's confident, but then everybody's like, you can't do this because such and such and such. And then he'll give a pause and then be like, no, I'm going to do it. And, you know, throughout the film, you just really don't feel, and there's a feeling of urgency, but you don't ever really worry. You know, it builds up those moments, but in reality, in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, this is going to turn out okay. I don't want to ruin it, but I will say it is worth seeing, but I don't think it's worth all the hype it's getting. But I would say it's definitely worth seeing. It's better probably in a theater. Alan Arkin's good, Ben Affleck's good, John Goodman is good, to go with his name. But it's worth seeking out, but it's not going to probably be on my top 10 of the year. And one little thing, I guess, disturbed me, that it felt like at the end, when they're showing all the pictures of, you know, the hostages that they snuck out, everybody looks the same. Then when you get to Ben Affleck's character, it looks nothing like him. Yeah, it's like this balding, you know, kind of chubby guy, and you know, you have Ben Affleck playing the, you know, the kind of hunky guy with the disheveled tie, and, you know, his hair is just this classic 70s iconish hair. But I will say, it almost felt like a film that could have came from the period it depicts. Also, one thing that, I guess, again, another nitpick, is that at the end, they like show these shots of what really happened, and then you're like, oh yeah, I remember that scene from the movie. And just in case you forgot, they show you a picture from that scene in the movie to show, oh, he perfectly recreated that shot, and it just felt like something from a first-time director would do. You know, I'm not saying anything bad about Ben Affleck because I really do enjoy him as a director. And, you know, he's getting better as an actor. He's a presence I like to see on screen. So I'm giving it a mild thumbs up. It's okay, but it's not as groundbreaking as everybody seems to think, or at least maybe it's just me. Speaking of, you know, putting my foot in my mouth, not necessarily putting my foot in my mouth, but I noticed that I just did a radio interview for Achieve Radio with Scott Sycamore, which you can see which you can listen to on the archives. And on that show, and also on the show, I always seem like I'm dissing Steven Spielberg. I'm not entirely dissing him. I'm not even really insulting him. The thing is, I think a lot of times when I'm speaking, is that I blame a lot of modern Hollywood on him because, you know, he made movies like Jaws and all these blockbusters that seem to have given rise to more event films than actual quality. And, you know, I might not have liked his latest films, but I will give him the respect he deserves because he is, you know, he was a movie fanboy and he finally got to make his films and made it. And he has made some truly colossal films where you can feel like a childlike wonder as he wonders all these different fantasy worlds and reality. And, you know, it's like one of the fanboys made it, so we should be more appreciative. And I respect him, and I love a lot of his films. It's just that I guess, unfortunately, it seems like, I mean, he's not poor or anything, but it seems like, I feel like sometimes I come across like I'm kicking him while he's down, and I don't want to seem that way because I really do like Steven Spielberg. I really do like his movies, and I do think he is talented. But I think maybe that since he keeps making movies over and over. I mean, he's a director. That's what he's supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do as a filmmaker. I just feel like a lot of times he's repeating himself or we've been there and done that. But, I mean, if that's what you're good at, you should keep doing it. I don't know if I'm digging myself into a hole again here or anything. But suffice it to say, if Steven Spielberg and my dream of dreams ever watches this show, I respect you. We should have a confab. I have nothing personally against you. I have some problems with some of your films, but I have no personal problems with you. It's all about the work, nothing personal. So that is just, I guess, my little rant apology. Some of you are probably saying, oh, you're kind of backing off. No, I still stand by my earlier views. I just want to clarify them. So, unfortunately, now it is time for the credits. So, here we go. As you can see, professional as ever with, the cards. Paper. If you like what you see, check out older episodes of both The Cinephiles, which I'm a part of on a time-to-time basis, but officially always a part of, and Unfinished Business on YouTube. Subscribe and leave comments. Let us know how we are doing. We also have a film review blog. Oh my God, I guess you guys didn't know that, but just to let you know, I'm letting you know now. At cinephilestv.blogspot.com. Check it out. And if that wasn't enough, yes, we have Facebook pages, which include the latest film news and open forums. Well, we have finished up this business, but remember, there is always unfinished business. But first, let me ask you this. Have you seen Scott Pilgrim? If not, why not? Because it's fucking awesome. But also, let me ask you this. Have you seen the movie, and since it's close to Halloween, the movie is Scarecrows. Have you seen it? If not, why not? Because it is fucking awesome. That's all for this week. Or that's all for this episode, I should say, because who knows when I'm going to do this again, because, we did a little bit of hiatus, but I thank you for all of you who have been watching and have been commenting, and I hope I'm getting some new viewers. Please tell your friends to watch, check it out, tell me what you think. I'm always looking for comments. Please, I need the views. But, I want to say to the people who watch this, I love you guys, and thank you. And until next time, I'm Jeff Gallashaw, and this is Unfinished. Business. Rough cuts.